The question from Senator Loeffler and the other senators is for the counsel for the president. As reported by Politico, quote, in January 1999, then Senator Joe Biden argued strongly against deposing additional witnesses or seeking new evidence in a memo sent to fellow Democrats ahead of, of Bill Clinton's impeachment trial, end quote. Politico reports that Senator Schumer agreed with Biden. Why should the Biden rule not apply here?
Mr. Chief Justice, members of the Senate, in a memorandum dated January 5, 1999 that is captioned Arguments in Support of Summary Impeachment Trial, Senator Biden discussed some history first regarding two Senate impeachment proceedings that were put forward in the Senate that were summarily decided. And this is what he said. These two cases demonstrate that the Senate may dismiss articles of impeachment without holding a full trial or taking any evidence. Put another way, the Constitution does not, impose on the Senate the duty to hold a trial. In fact, the Senate need not hold a trial even though the House wishes to present evidence and hold a full trial and the elements of jurisdiction are present. He went on to say, in a number of previous impeachment trials, the Senate has reached the judgment that its constitutional role as sole trier of impeachment does not require it to take new evidence or hear live witness testimony. This follows from the Senate's considerations for motions for summary disposition in at least 3 trials, and it listed the 3 trials of Judges Ritter, Claiborne, and Nixon. In each, the Senate considered a motion for summary disposition on the merits. In no case did the Senate decline to consider a motion for summary disposition as beyond the Senate's authority or forbidden by the Constitution. The framers did not mean that this political process was to be a partisan process. Instead, they meant it to be political in the higher sense. The process was to be conducted in the way that would best secure the public interest, or in their phrase, the general welfare. That was the Biden doctrine of impeachment proceedings. Now, some members in this chamber agreed with that. Some members that serve as managers also agreed with that. But now the rules are different. The rules are different because Manager Schiff just moments ago did what he's now famous for and created a conversation purportedly from the President of the United States regarding Russia hacking of Burisma. And it's the same thing he did when he started his hearings. So this is a common practice. But if we want to look at common practice and common procedures, the Biden rule is one. I'd like to address something else, because we've heard it time and time again about 2 judges have decided this issue of executive privilege. I want to address 2 things very quickly. My very first case at the Supreme Court of the United States, and it was a long time ago, over 30 years ago, 33 years ago. My client lost in the district court. They said, well, we'll appeal to the Ninth Circuit Court of Appeals. Went to the Ninth Circuit Court of Appeals, was not so successful. We didn't win there either. My client said, well, what do? I said, well, we have one option. We could file a petition for certiorari to the Supreme Court of the United States. Chances are they're not going to take the case. But at this point, it's an important issue to you, so why don't we proceed? My client agreed to proceed. A petition for certiorari was granted, and the court reversed 9-0 the Court of Appeals in the district court. And that's why you continue to utilize courts when appropriate. That's why you do it. And you don't rely on what a district court judge says. And the last thing I want to say, they are asking you, as a Senate body, to waive executive privilege on the President of the United States. Now, I want to think about that for a moment. They are asking you to vote to determine, or have the Chief Justice in his individual capacity as presiding judge, vote to waive executive privilege as it relates to the President of the United States. And that is what they think is the appropriate role for this proceeding to continue. I think you should adopt the Biden rule. Thank you.